Hi and welcome back to Live and Breathe Horses. Today we are talking about love and discipline. And this is such an important balance to find when you're working with horses, to give them the best opportunity and yourselves to have a connected, respectful relationship. Now, I've got him here for a reason. So he's pushing on me there a little bit because he doesn't really want to be in here. We're in here because it's a bit windy outside and it plays havoc with the microphone. And he is a very, very herd-orientated horse and is not happy being on his own. So that's why he's here. So I was listening to a podcast the other day and it came up this lovely quote from Gallagher, and he said, "Love without discipline and discipline without love are both abuse." And I really have a firm belief in this. So one time I was at a clinic with Buck Brannaman, and there was a woman there with her horse, and she was having trouble with her horse. It was pulling around, it was neighing, it was generally not paying any attention to her. So he pulled her up about it, and she said, "Oh yes, but you can't discipline him. You mustn't be mean to him because he was badly treated." And of course, if you know Buck's story, he had suffered terrible abuse as a child. And he told her, when he went to his foster parents, they were strict but fair. They gave him a job to do and made it very clear, this is your place, this is your job, this is what you do. And, that helped him heal. If they'd just loved him and let him do whatever he wanted, filled him with sweeties or whatever, it would not have helped him become the man he is. So, you see, he's pushing here on me. So the first thing to say is about discipline, and of course I see very much the both sides of this at the moment. When I was living in Andalusia, I would very often see discipline without love, and sometimes discipline, really more abuse than discipline. And here, back in the UK, I am seeing more love without discipline. Horses just dragging people around and doing what the hell they like. And, horses like children. I really think in that situation, they're not really happy. So the first thing to say with the discipline, it's the skill of being, I think the love we maybe don't have to talk about so much. I think we're all good at that. Although even in saying that, are we really being open-hearted and love without conditions and without judgment? So that is something to consider. But I know for me, I definitely struggle more with the discipline. I would far rather be dealing with a horse that was nervous and afraid than one that was spoiled. I find that much more difficult, although I have a feeling I'm going to be getting more experience of that side of it recently. And those spoiled horses, the ones that are fearful, and I have seen that go so wrong when, a lot of foreigners coming over to Spain, and I have helped people find and buy horses, and then they're like, "Oh, poor thing, oh, he's been so badly treated," and they fill them with love, often in the form of food and carrots and letting the horse do whatever they want. So that can start off a bit with the horse maybe getting a bit of confidence, but very soon they're like, "Oh my God, the fear's away." So what is, if they're not educated, they're trained by fear, and suddenly you remove that fear. And the horse can very quickly be like, "Oh my God, if nobody's in charge here, I better take over." And, those horses can be so difficult then to do anything with, because when they've been really in extreme fear and then they get spoiled. So when you try and do anything to correct the spoiled behavior, they can freak out beyond proportion, into fear. So it's a great practice of feeling timing, that's for sure. But it's so unfair and very sad for the horses when that happens. So, of course, with best intentions, but best intentions can still cause a lot of problems. So people yeah, maybe don't realize how important the discipline side is. So where were we going with that, Bing? Yeah, so the main thing with the discipline is to be able to be firm without being hard. Okay, so if he's actually not being he's being a little bit pushy on me, but he's not too worried. So the first thing is that I want to be the safe, secure, calm, still place where he would want to be. So it's important that I don't tell him off. Like if he was to start getting more upset and neighing, that I don't tell him off for that, because he's neighing and that to tell me he's distressed. And of course, if I go in and tell him off, then why would he think, oh, that's a nice place to be? So it's to first create that place. You know, we talk about this a lot. To take some breaths, be grounded, you know, that solid, still calmness. So I'm giving him that option to be, hey, you can be here with me. I know you'd far rather be out in the field with your herd, but actually right now I need you to help me with my video. So then it's very much a question of how much do I need, you know? If he's pushing forward, can I just set him back? You know, and let him figure things out. It's always also back to that thing of letting the horse have a chance to explore and learn, you know. Elbow's always a good one, you know, if he's pushing in on me, just that I raise my elbow and he bangs into my elbow rather than me actually hitting him. And, you know, obviously I've had this horse all his life and he can get very stressed, but he also does know and trust me very well. Oops. Don't push. So I'm kind of in between trying to pay attention to him and pay attention to the video, not forget what I'm saying. So yes, how do we discipline our horses? So that always starts with a minimum amount, you know, assuming they're going to respond. As soon as we just be a bit firm and say, hey, you know, stand back there. It's all right. You can take a step back and you can just stay there. You know, and trust that he will listen to that and stay there. And if he doesn't, I could maybe have to do a little bit more and then a little bit more. So the important thing is to always raise it up little by little, always believing the horse is going to respond to the little correction we make in whatever we're doing. And if they don't, that we ask slightly stronger, you know. So those horses I see with getting pulled around by people, so you could first ask, you know, just here very softly, might be like, hey, excuse me, listen to me. And then it might be you see that it might be a bit stronger if we have to, oi, hey, I'm talking to you. And if we really had to, hey, then it's in a solid, firm way with a breath. It's not it's not angry. You know, there's no violence or rage or anything behind that. It's very firm and calm and consistent, you know, so we're always asking the same thing in the same way. And if we have to repeat that exercise 1,000 times, 10,000 times, then we repeat it till the horse, okay, they get it. But the important thing is taking that feedback, isn't it? So it's having the feel to see what's going on, to ask, hey, listen. And when they don't, hey, come on, listen to me. And it's like, oi, I'm talking to you. But it's not like, ah! And, you know, to step that up and step that up. And then as soon as they do listen, so we go back to being calm and assuming he's now going to behave himself and stay over there. And if he doesn't, I can go back to correct him and say, hey, just stand there. It's fine. You can just stand there. And then believe that he will stand there and be soft and calm. So I'm offering a nice place to be. I'm not standing, I mean, I know he's not been really naughty, but maybe we can find a naughty horse to practice this again. So it's not that I'm standing here saying, hey, stand there. Now, I'm watching you. You better stand there. I'm waiting, you know, I'm paying attention. You better not try anything again. Because then I'm not providing that soft, nice, calm place where he wants to hang out. If I'm sitting here like on guard for him to do it again. So I will be very aware and paying attention and try to get there and correct him before it happens, before he feels the need to move off or get upset. But on the other side, I'm not there preparing for the worst or thinking that might happen, because then I'm just going to create that, you know. I'm not giving him a soft place to be. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. It's so important to get that right balance, you know. Yes, love on our horses, but they need discipline, you know. It's like we're in charge of something that's potentially deadly. You know, you're out with your horse somewhere and he suddenly charges off into traffic and you can't control him because he's not disciplined. And it could cause a serious accident. You know, someone could crash their car, somebody could die. Apart from the fact of being kicked or trampled or pushed by the horse. So, you see, he's really quite politely telling me I've had enough now. I'm standing here being very patient and I really want to go back to my friends. He's been very quiet. Often he would start neighing in this situation. Anyway, I'd love to hear your comments on that. Thank you for joining us today inside the barn. Keep on tuning into the light and we'll look forward to seeing you next time.